Hi, welcome to Ruminate on This, small bits of information from AMTS, the nutritionist webinars. This short from Tom Taluki will talk about the importance of understanding what the digestibility of the NDF is.
Then we get into NDF digestibility, and this has probably introduced so much confusion around the industry that I'm hoping I can clear some of this confusion up. What are we really trying to measure when we do NDF digestibilities? The immediate response is NDF digestibility, how much of that's going to degrade in the rumen. But that's really a simplification of what we're really trying to do. What we're really trying to do is to determine the digestibility of the potentially digestible NDF. Okay? So this potentially digestible NDF is the NDF organic matter minus that unavailable NDF. Historically, and this is still the way we do it in the model, what we're looking at is calculating carbohydrate B3, which is the NDF minus the carbohydrate C pool. Sounds pretty simple. And here's where this potentially digestible NDF gets really interesting. Here's 3 examples. They could all have exactly the same 30-hour NDF digestibility. But the rate of these 3 ingredients would be drastically different because the size of the unavailable pool varies tremendously, which means that the potentially digestible, the orange bar, changes. So to get the same NDF, overall NDF digestibility, the rate of degradation for this one with the smallest potentially digestible NDF pool, the rate on this is going to be the highest because the pool size is the smallest. It gets a little tricky to try and visualize this, and I've been trying to come up with how to show that. And this is the best way I was able to do this that I could come up with. So it's dependent upon the size of that unavailable pool that changes the pool size of the potentially digestible NDF. But again, all 3 of these could have the same 30-hour NDF digestibility. Or if we put it this way, the NDF digestibility is simply telling us how much of the total NDF can degrade in the rumen. It really gives us an index. It doesn't really tell us how fast that's going to happen or how much of the NDF is going to escape or how we need to know the potentially digestible component. And that's something that really, when you start looking at these different ingredients, is a great number to start thinking about, is not so much the NDF per se, as much as how much of it is unavailable versus potentially digestible.
That short was originally heard on the September 2016 webinar that Tom gave, and it was called Whatever Tom Wants to Talk About. Our next short in this series on NDF will discuss how we started to talk about time points in relation to NDF digestibilities.